Hey, what's up guys? So finally Galaxy S20 FE has started receiving Android 11 One UI 3.0 update, and in this video we will check out what's new in One UI 3 and are there any changes in performance after the Android 11 update. The size of the official update is 1.86 GB, so make sure you are connected to a strong and fast Wi-Fi. First of all, you can see the new icons on the settings page. They look much more colorful now, giving a fresh look, and the Samsung account is shown at the top center and it's much bigger now. There is no difference in the stock app icons. They still have the rounded edge circular look, but the animations feels much smoother. The animations feel much more refined. There's no frame drop or jitteriness even while swiping or opening any apps rapidly, and there is a slight improvement in the opening time of apps. The notification and quick settings panel has been revised as well to give a much fresher look. It has a transparent look which looks much better than the opaque white background of Android 10. The icons in the quick settings panel have been revised as well. And when you turn on the dark mode, the quick settings panel has a transparent black look instead of just plain black. Media and device control is easier with the improved media panel in notification center. The device and media shortcut buttons has been added in the quick panel, and you can see recently used media apps and quickly change the playback device. So it's much more convenient now. And in the notification panel, now the notifications are divided into categories like music playback is at the top. Then there are alerting notifications like messages and others, and finally at the end there are silent notifications like downloaded files and all. So it's better to take a glance at different notifications. And you have the option to directly access brightness and media and playback devices without swiping down the whole notification panel. For that, you have to just turn it on from quick panel settings, and now if you open the notification panel halfway also, you will be able to use brightness and media devices. You can add image or video background to your call screen to have the picture on the whole display, which looks much better. And the UI after receiving the call has been improved as well. The call settings have a white square background which was not there in Android 10. The new circular theme has been applied to lock screen as well, and now the password numbers have a circular look. The volume bar has been moved to the right with a new look, and the volume controls page has been redesigned as well, and instead of thin blue lines, volume controls now have a tubular design which looks much better. Now you have the double tap to lock option as well, which can be turned on from settings in advanced feature options. The icons on the lock screen too have transparent background. The always on display on the lock screen has been revised as well, and by double clicking on the clock and then swiping up and down, you can add and access widgets like music, calendar, weather and others. So it's easier to find and control your routines. Some new image categories have been added for dynamic wallpapers, which can be accessed by swiping left on the lock screen. The screen unlock animation is also different. The UI of the gallery app has been revised as well, and now the advanced settings button has been moved to the bottom right corner, which was at the top right corner earlier. Earlier when you used to make changes to a photo, it used to save a copy of the original image, but now the changes are saved on the original image only, and you have the option to revert back, so you can revert back to the original image anytime. You can still turn on the option to save the edited image as a copy instead of replacing the original image. In the Samsung internet browser, you can hide the status and navigation bar for a more immersive experience. The look of the tabs page has been revised as well, and you can change the look of the open tabs as per your liking, whether you want a list, stack or a grid view. You can also rearrange the tabs and lock the tabs so they won't close even if you swipe them by mistake. So this can be a really helpful feature, but I don't think many people still use Samsung browser over Google Chrome, but still it's a good addition. A new feature has been added in the developer options, and in order to activate that, you need to have developer options. For that, you can go to settings, software options, and under that tap build number 7 times, and your developer options will be activated. And in the developer options, you can now turn on the show refresh rate option. So once you activate that, the refresh rate is shown on the top left corner. As you can see, currently the display is running on 60Hz refresh rate, and if you change the motion smoothness to high, the number changes to 120Hz. So this can be a very handy feature to know whether the phone is running on 60Hz or 120Hz to avoid draining your battery unnecessarily. The security has been improved with this update, especially in regards to app permissions, and for that a new option named Permission Manager has been added. And over here you can see the list of apps installed on your phone and which all permissions you have granted to each app. You can also deny a particular permission for a certain app, so this is a really good feature as you can deny camera permission to apps like Facebook to avoid privacy issues. The next new feature is the notification bubble option, and I'll show you how to activate it later. First I'll show you what it does. So if you get a text message, you can go to notification panel and expand the messages. Then there is a button to activate the bubble window, and when you press it, the conversations open in a bubble window and you can reply from here itself. Also, if you click the back button, you have the chat heads on your screen, much like Facebook Messenger chat heads. You can move it anywhere or swipe it down to close it. In order to activate that, you can go to settings, the notifications. Under notifications, click advanced settings. There you have the floating notification options. Under that, you can activate bubbles. Next new option is the notification history. You can see here all the notifications that you had received during the day, so you don't miss any important notifications which you had discarded by mistake. Now you can directly add widgets of the apps on your home screen by long pressing the app and selecting widgets. There are multiple design options available to choose from. Earlier we had Recycle Bin only for Gallery and My Files app, but Recycle Bin has now been added to Messages and Contact app as well. So if you delete a contact or message by mistake, you can restore them from the Recycle Bin, and the deleted contacts and messages are stored in the Recycle Bin for 30 days. The look of the alarm display has been changed, and you can also hear the timing when the alarm rings. Sadly, the Wi-Fi Direct option has been removed from the sharing options, and now you can use only Nearby Share for sharing large files to other devices. But you can still receive files using Wi-Fi Direct. With the changes in the algorithms of Android 11 and One UI 3, the user interface has become much more smoother, but the Antutu score has dropped considerably. As you can see, this phone had scored around 450k in earlier test on Android 10, but after the Android 11 update, the score has dropped to 410k. I'll test the gaming performance and will update you guys later on about this. There's no difference in the user interface of the camera app, it's exactly the same. But due to the improved algorithms, the camera output has been improved slightly along with the focus speed and accuracy. It's much better than it was on Android 10 and it was really needed. So these were all the major changes in the Android 11 One UI 3.0 update. I have used it for 2 days and have not experienced any bugs till now. I didn't experience any battery drain or reduced battery backup issue with this update. The slight heating issue during gaming is still there, and I'm afraid that the gaming performance may have been affected seeing the Antutu scores. But I'll comment on that after a few in-depth tests. If you find any other new feature or new bug, comment below so I can look into it. If you found this video helpful, please like and share the video. Don't forget to click the subscribe button and press the bell icon to get updates on our new video uploads. Also follow me on Instagram on techbuzz.insta page and techbuzz Facebook page. We will be back with another video soon. Till then, stay tuned.